ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं। हरिः ओम तत्सत्। अथेदं नित्यधो युक्तो जपन् अविहिता पुमाम् आश्रय श्रेय आप्नोति वासुदेवा परायणा। अथेदं नित्यधा युक्तो जपन् जपन् हविहिता पुमाम् आश्रय आप्नोति वासुदेवा परायणा। Translation. Translation. A devotee of Lord Krishna, whose mind is always absorbed in him with great attention and reverence, chants this sutra prayer will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. Purport. Perfection means becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna. As stated in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 1-28, Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Mukhaha. The ultimate goal of life is Vasudeva or Krishna. Any devotee of Lord Krishna can attain all perfection, material gains and liberation simply by offering prayers to him. There are many varieties of prayers to Lord Krishna chanted by great sages and great personalities such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Lord Krishna is known as Shiva Virichini Nutham. Bhagavatam 11:55, 11:5:33. Shiva means Lord Shiva and Virinichi means Lord Brahma. Both of these demigods are engaged in offering praise to Lord Vasudeva, Krishna. If we follow the footsteps of such a great personality and become devotees of Lord Krishna, our life will be successful. Unfortunately, people do not know this secret. Nathe vidum swartha gatim hi Vishnum. They do not know the real interest and highest perfection of life is to worship Lord Vishnu, Krishna. Bhagavatam 7:5:31. It is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust external energy. Without being a devotee of Lord Krishna, one cannot. It is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust external energy. Without being a devotee of Lord Krishna, one can only be baffled and confused. To save the living entities from such a calamity of Lord, such calamity, external energy. Without being a devotee, one cannot be one can only be baffled and confused. To save the living entities from such a calamity, Lord Krishna points out in Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Bahunam janmanamante danavan man prapadyante vasudevam sarvamiti samaatma sadurlubhaha. After many births and deaths, a wise man surrenders unto me, knowing well that I, Vasudeva, am everything. Such a great soul is very rare. Can achieve whatever benediction we can simply by becoming devotees of Lord, devotees of Vasudeva. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. So here, some of the silent features, uh, silent points of this purport, these essential points are there. So Srila Prabhupada in this purport is saying, perfection means becoming devotee of Lord, as stated in Bhagavatam. So, so when one practices all the scriptural principles, like Srila Prabhupada has given us in the morning program, like getting early in the morning, taking bath, and coming in front of the Lord, and paying our obeisances to Acharya, and then blessing the deities of the Lord, baiting the Lord, blessing the deities of the Lord. So if we all doing by this, what Srila Prabhupada has given us is like trying to be, perfection of becoming a Lord Krishna's devotee. So we find that all of these things are done as an offering to Krishna. Then then one becomes more and more purified, and then Krishna empowers us to become, to do more and more service to Krishna. So then devotees, is empowered with many gifts. So what is that gift? Gift from, lamentation, and one becomes free from anchoring, and one becomes free from our future. Many of us will be thinking, what is our future? What will happen? And then, so if he tries to become perfection or becoming a devotee, then all these things will be automatically, eradicated free from the future. Ordinary people, every time they see things that, they have a very petty goals. So sometimes they have a petty goal that what is the perfection of life? And the perfection of life is to just to build a house, or some, getting married, or getting a big job and everything. It may be a goal, but it's a very petty goal. But only a devotee of the Lord knows what is the goal of life. The goal of life is to serve Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. So only a devotee knows. So when it is said in the Bible, one statement is given in the Bible. The statement is like this: do not strive for the wealth which can be stolen by thieves or eaten by moths and rusted by wind. So I repeat this: do not strive for the wealth which can be stolen by thieves, eaten by moths, and rusted by winds. So what do you mean by this? What are the material gifts actually, after all, are? So in this world, which is stolen by thieves, all are stolen by thieves. What is stolen by thieves? What we have acquired, the wealth, such as gold, diamond, and money, whatever we acquired in our life. So it can be stolen, right? It can be stolen by thieves and eaten by moths. Eaten by moths means we have by great our material endeavor, we have built this house and everything. So all by getting is this wood and everything. So the wood is eaten by moths, and we use this building, all steels and structures and everything is used, and by the time by the wind it'll get rusted. So we're chasing after this material benefit, this one. So he says that do not chase after material goals, material goods, chase after the Supreme Lord. So this once becomes complete, then by doing this one becomes completely satisfied in the sound vibration of Vedas. By doing all this austerity to become a devotee of the Lord, by taking this all austerity, then it is easy to connect with the Supreme Lord. So a person who is faithfully followed the scriptural injunction and is conducted by the Lord. What do you mean by the conducted by the Lord? Just like now, by giving an example of an airplane, some of the sophisticated airplanes are conducted. Means there is just a pilot goes and sits, and everything is controlled by the control room. So is conducted. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj is conducted by the Lord. So similarly, a devotee, if he is conducted by the Lord, is becoming like a red hot iron. If you keep the red iron in the fire, he is conducted by the Supreme Lord. Just like you acquires all the iron acquires all the qualities of the fire, then devotees also acquires all the qualities of a great vehicle. So Lord Krishna, so the Lord will help empower him with a great empowerment to become a great, to do the great things. So how is that? Now many devotees we do such a great austerity and such a great achievement. Now in preaching or building Krishna's temple and doing many things, such as for a great example is our Acharya. Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada is a great Acharya. So he is empowered by the Lord. So therefore, his body is used in the great things in this world. So he is achieved. So like that. So the difference between our ability and God's ability is that when our ability, when it is combined with God's blessings, then one get the empowerment. Such as like when Lord is pleased with us, then the Lord empowers. Therefore, we have to also pray for the Lord's empowerment and also the great austerity we have to do. Like human form is meant for doing great austerity. So you can see the example of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma did tapasya for 100 celestial years. So he did a great austerity by doing this. And when he saw that everywhere was pitch dark, and when he did austerity, Lord Vishnu is very pleased with him because of his austerity. Then Lord Brahma, he was empowered. He saw Lord Vishnu's lotus eyes. He saw the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and he was very, very jubilant. He was very happy. So like this, when we take an austerity, when our ability is empowered by God's blessing, then the devotee is empowered. And when you take the austerity, and Lord is very much pleased. Like Lord Brahma, Lord is pleased by Lord Brahma's 100 celestial years, and he's empowered. And what is empowered? Lord appreciated the penance of Lord Brahma. He gave him a responsible position. So sometimes a devotee gets the responsible position. Why? Because he takes the austerity to take the responsibility, and thereby he gets the position to serve the Supreme Lord. Similarly, in our life also we get so much position, so much this one. Why? Because the Lord is empowered us, because some devotee is taking the austerity. Similarly, here Lord Brahma is empowered with great responsibility to create Prajapatis, and also is empowered with is a big responsibility producing Prajapati and handing over the Vedic wisdom. So he is giving a Vedic wisdom. So this is the very great, glorious service to do, and the Lord Brahma for that service pleased with his austerity and surrender. So as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1, it's stated here in this purport 1:2:28, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramukha. The ultimate goal of life is to know Vasudeva. Any devotee of Lord Krishna can attain all perfection, material gains, and liberation by offering prayers to Lord Vasudeva. So there are many prayers. There are prayers by Lord Shiva. There are prayers by Lord Brahma. There are prayers by Lord Kunti. If you see in Bhagavatam, there is only many prayers to please Lord to the Lord. So here it says in this previous verses also. So in this Rudra Geet, Lord Shiva is saying, glorifying Lord Vishnu. So he says, one who sincerely chants these prayers, following the footsteps of Prachetas, Lord Vishnu gives promises, he gives all benediction, and he gives himself to the devotee. So we should follow in the footsteps of the great devotees. So similarly, Lord Shiva is saying, we should say that is to follow the footsteps of a Prachetas. And Prachetas was a wonderful devotees. So Lord Shiva gave this Rudra Gita to this Prachetas. So in this previous chapter also we see the Lord in this Rudra Gita, Lord Shiva says that the time will never approach a devotee who has taken the shelter of the Lord. And he says the time will never approach a devotee who's taken the shelter of the Lord. Lord Shiva even says that if one attains the little association of a great devotee who has taken up the shelter of the Lord, he becomes, the karma will be vanished and is not inclined by fruitive activities, the karma. So even the moment of association of the devotee. And what is Lord Shiva begging? He's saying, he's very humble and he's saying, I'm begging for that association of that devotee who's taken the shelter of the Lord. So Lord Shiva is saying in itself, I'm begging for that moment, for that little association of a pure devotee who's taking the shelter of the Lord. So he's anchoring for that. Lord Shiva is saying this, and he's being so humble. And that and Srila Prabhupada explains here is that there is no difference between hearing Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna or hearing the Lord Shiva's prayer directly from Lord Shiva. So such a potency is there in it says is in Lord Shiva's prayer. So he says that it's hearing them, reading them in Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is a source of is pure coming down from parampara. That means the parampara, if it is from parampara, it is and if you follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, in the footsteps of Prachetas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this connection, there is a nice story of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Mathura, so he takes bath in Yamuna, in Vishram Ghat. Then after taking the bath in Yamuna, he comes to taking the darshan of the Lord. So then when Lord Chaitanya sees this deity of Lord Krishna, so then he is very much in ecstasy, and he was dancing in ecstasy. So one old Brahmana came to him and he offered obeisances unto his lotus feet to Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya embraced him, and he also both started dancing. And this went on and went on. It went on for a long time. Both were in the ecstasy and dancing in front of the Lord. Then after some time, he took this old Brahmana to side and asked him a question. So he asked many questions to this old Brahmana, that you have something to give, and who are you? He asked. Then how come you got such a great love for Lord Krishna, and how come you were dancing in so much of ecstasy? So Lord Chaitanya questions him. Then the Brahmana says, when Madhavendra Puri, he was going all through the pilgrimage. Then he came to Mathura. When this Brahmana was in Mathura, then he called Sri Madhavendra Puri to his house, and he served him. Then he gets a initiation from Brahmana, and also he gets the blessing from Madhavendra Puri. He gets the initiation from Madhavendra Puri, and he got the blessing, and also he cooks for Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri takes this Mahaprasad from this old Brahmana. So then the old Brahmana similarly asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, you have got so much of love for Krishna. And he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm sure that you are also gets the blessing from Madhavendra Puri. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered, my spiritual master, my Gurudev, Ishwara Puri, is your god brother. So he is the devotee, he is the devotee. You must then he asked the Balbhadra, the Brahmana asked the Balabhadra to cook for Lord Chaitanya. Then Lord Chaitanya said, no, I want to eat from you. Then this Brahmana says that that this Brahmana is apanohi sanohi Brahmana. That means the Brahmana who is very low caste Brahmana, who somebody never eats from this cooked by this Brahmana. So those official sannyasis and other devotees will never used to take this offering from Brahmana because he's a low caste Brahmana. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quote this verse, yad yad acharitestha tat tat eva taro jana. That what the great people do, that is the standard for all others. So Madhavendra Puri, he took prasadam at your house. Therefore, I will take prasadam at your house cooked by you. So it not allow others to cook, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to take prasadam offered cooked by this old Brahmana. Even though the Brahmana was not qualified to cook for the sannyasis, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing that to follow in the footsteps of a great devotee, is showing that he is taking the Mahaprasad cooked by Brahmana, because he is cooked for, he also prepared with great love and devotion for a great devotee like his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing to follow in the footstep of a great devotee. Then not only that, instead, not only you cooked for Madhavendra Puri, but I will also accept you like a spiritual master. So he goes to an extent of saying like he's a spiritual master. So then also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this, Mahajana Yenagata Sapanta. Though the true essence of the truth is hidden in the hearts of a devotee. So he says, only a devotee who has in the heart Krishna, is taken the shelter of Krishna, then that devotee, that Krishna, he can reveal Krishna to you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in this regard. So from whom we have to hear this, we should know that the ultimate goal of life is Vasudeva or Krishna. So by attaining the the ultimate goal of life is Vasudeva. So we have to surrender, and by surrender that to Vasudeva, we get all perfection. But many times, whatever we know, we don't know whom to surrender. To do, we don't know whom from whom to hear. So he says in this, Prabhupada says in purport, many so-called many non-devotees or something, general public, they did not know whom from to hear and whom to take shelter of. So that is a great this one. So in this connection also there is a story in Chaitanya Charitamrita that one great emperor at that time, there was in Navadip, there is a Muslim Mughal emperor ruler. So he was ruling the kingdom, and then one person came by name Digvijay Pandit. So he challenges Mughal emperor that in your state there is nobody that he can defeat me. By challenging me all this mantras and everything. So Digvijay Pandit challenged him that nobody there is there to defeat me. So the emperor has many kings. The king, Krishna, the another king was there by name Krishna or some Krishna, by name Krishna Chaitanya or something. So he challenges the emperor, and the emperor in turn asked the kings that you look for a great Pandit who can defeat Digvijay Pandit. So this king, so the king sends the news to everyone, who he calls all the Pandit. But many Pandits in Navadip, they were scared, because if they were defeated by Digvijay Pandit, they will be embarrassed. So nobody wants to come to this kingdom, and this one, they give all sorts of reasons not to come to this kingdom and defeat Digvijay Pandit. So one advisor was there in this kingdom, so he came forward. So he said, I can defeat Digvijay Pandit. So this king said, he was not very scholar or something like that. But he said, I can defeat this Digvijay Pandit. He said, how you can defeat? You don't worry about that. I will defeat him, he says. So then Digvijay Pandit, this king wants to send this great advisor to the emperor's palace. So he goes. He takes, he changes his dress, he shaved off his hair, he lifts a big shika, and he wears tilak, and he wears Harinam chadar and everything, and he poses himself as a great, like a pandit. So then he takes a wooden piece, or then he keeps it is in a bag and wrap it in the cloth, so that it looks like a one grantha. So that then he goes to the emperor's palace, and then he says, "I will face the challenge given by Digvajay Pandit." So then this Brahmana also, this advisor also asked the permission for, I want to take rest for 2-3 days in your kingdom, because I've traveled from Navadip to your kingdom, so that I will take rest. So the emperor grants him a permission. He takes rest after some time. Then Digvijay Pandit asks, how come he's taking rest for so many days? Let him come and challenge me. So he comes there and he challenges. He says, then the Brahma that now I have a grantha called what is that? The one grantha I have that is saying that someone who takes this hairs of the Digvijay Pandit, he gets all perfection of life, and his all material and all his karma will be vanished. That is only in one moment. Then the Digvijay Pandit, he was astonished by this statement, and then he runs away, and then all people are rushing towards him to take the hair of Digvijay Pandit. So that too in 1 minute, that is 48 minutes. So everybody runs runs behind him, and Digvijay Pandit finally runs away. Then this emperor was astonished. What is that? This one you have? It's that grantha you have. So he said it's a very olden piece of wooden, and that is also it's a part of the cot. That then he says that why you bring that? That is called as something called as that grantha is something called as I forgot the name of that grantha. So that is in the Sanskrit it is called that it is very old, and it is a part of a cot. So that he never lies, never says that he lies that, but he says that if somebody takes the hair of Digvijay Pandit, he gets all the material, but then the Brahma, the king emperor gives him the 1,000 coins and sends him. Then the king asks that how come you could challenge the great Digvijay Pandit? Then this advisor says that because one who takes the shelter of Mughal emperor, he doesn't know anything about the Vedas. So how can he judge when he doesn't know any Vedas? So only a person who knows the Vedas, a person who are trained under the parampara system, then only he can challenge his other. I know this Digvijay Pandit was fool number one because he's taken the shelter of a Mughal emperor who doesn't know any Vedas. So by this we can understand that. So from whom we have to hear this one from parampara? We have to hear from the great parampara, which is given by Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. We know Srila Prabhupada has given such a great gift, which is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is coming from a great parampara. That says that so we have of Lord Chaitanya, footsteps of a great devotee and great personalities such as Brahma and Shiva. So whenever we are when we offer prayers, it should be from the scriptural like in Srimad Bhagavatam, It is like it is the prayers of Rudra Great or prayers from Brahma and so many other prayers prayers from Queen Kunti. So by this we can come to know that it should be from parampara, and a devotee of Lord Krishna whose mind is always absorbed in him with great attention. In this purport, it says that a person ashrit means without delay. So without delay, we should offer the prayers. Then we will achieve the great perfection of life without delay. So this is what means perfection means become a devotee of Lord. So where there is many, we are trying to achieve so many perfection in life. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that the perfection means what? Perfection means only becoming a devotee of the Lord. That is perfection of life. So similarly, so many of our the goal of life is there, but people doesn't know what is real goal of life. The real goal of life is going back home, back to Godhead. Similarly, God is human form of life. So the Prabhupada is stressing in so many purports that we have got this great human form of life, that once we get this human form after 8.4 million species of birth, we have got this human form of birth, which is very, very rare. So my spiritual master says this, when we get this human form, life is like getting a lottery ticket. So similarly, when we get a lottery ticket, we have this money with us, using, we are keeping it with us. Oh, we have the money, I'm a rich guy, I'm a rich guy. So if you don't use it, then what is the use? So similarly, we get this human form, which is very, very rare. So if we don't use it in the service of the Lord, then this human form is waste of life. So similarly, this so we have to engage ourselves in serving the Lord and his devotees, like serving in the temple, giving reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the japa early in the morning. So all this austerity, if we take, then slowly and steadily, definitely there is without delay we get devotion to Lord Krishna. Then our life will be successful. So many devotees of the Lord, they give the example of in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a great example. So we can read Srimad Bhagavatam and follow in the footsteps of a great acharyas and great Vaishnavas. Then our goal of life is be fulfilled. So this is what today's verse I could gather some information. Any questions or any you can add add anything is there. So I can only stop here and hear from great Vaishnavas. And
yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for elaborately explaining the core the point of this verse. What is real perfection? Thank you for highlighting the futility of material existence, like whatever we acquire can be stolen by thieves, eaten by moths, and finally get finished. And ultimately, we follow the footsteps of the devotees, acharyas, and the spiritual master. We can understand the importance of this human form of life and go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you for sharing the pastimes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. That was very sweet. Excuse me. Devotees can unmute themselves to share any reflections, or if they have any questions, please ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandatram. Prabhu, second pastime, that is that Digvijay Pandit or Digvijay Singh Prabhu?
Digvijay Pandit.
Digvijay Pandit. He was in the Mughal Emperor, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay. And he challenges whom, Prabhu? But because that net was little breaking, so I could not listen properly.
Okay. So he, the Digvijay Pandit only came to the Mughal emperor, and he said that in your emperor, there is nobody to challenge me.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. My very nice pastime, especially the Mathura pastime was so wonderful, Prabhu. That is Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pramod Prabhu.
Oh,
Thank you
Dandavat
very
Prabhu.
much. Wonderful. So nectarian. Full of flow. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pramod, Nitai Prabhu. This is Gaurachandra Gopinath Das. Thank you so much for the Chaitanya Charitamrita nectar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Thank you for the nice class, Prabhu. Prabhu, like all these prayers, like there are so many prayers, right? Stavas. Like each devotee's mood is also different, it is said. So then, how to understand, Prabhu? Like, what are their? I mean, it's not very clear from the stuti. Like, what is their mood? At least I can't understand. So how to, is it important to also to know the mood of the devotee? Like Kunti Maharani is praying in one mood, like Lord is praying in different mood. What is common in all these prayers? And also, is there any specific mood for the devotees?
See, the common goal or the common prayers is that Prabhupada says in this purport is perfection of becoming a devotee. So all these prayers from Bhagavatam, whether it is a Kunti prayers, whether it's a Rudragit, or whether it is the Brahma prayers, the all is achieving the perfection and they're glorifying the Supreme Lord. So different devotees have the ability different the Lord in a different mood. So we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam and in the mood of Lord Shiva, especially in this chapter, previous chapter in the Rudragit, Shiva is glorifying Lord Vishnu. So like that, even Kunti also prays that you give all this problem to me so that I can surrender to the Lord. Why is she saying that? So the devotees sometimes, when there is no problem as such in the devotees in people in general, they also don't surrender to the Lord. But if Kunti Maharani is praying that there should be always there is a problem, there should be a problem in my life so that I can never forget Krishna or Vasudeva. So like that, in that mood, if we are not surrendered to the Lord, we can say that if some problems come, then we can surrender to the Lord because everything is under the control of the Lord. So like that, even Rudragrit also is glorifying Lord Krishna is the greatest of all the devotees, and how to surrender to Lord. He is saying that to the Prachetas. So, and Prachetas, they perfectly followed what Lord Shiva said. So similarly, so all the prayers is meant to surrender to Lord and become a great devotees of the Lord. That is what the sum and substance of all the prayers is, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji, I think we can conclude the class here. Thank you again for your time. We'll conclude with Vaishnav. I think someone wants to speak.
Yes, sorry, one more thing.
Yes, please.
One more question. I think so. Like when we read these prayers, like what should be our mood? Like we read as it is, right? As they have prayed. But what should be our mood towards the devotee and towards the Lord? Like definitely we cannot imitate them in their mood. But what should be our understanding and what should be our mood for while we pray, chant these stavas?
Yeah, definitely we can, as you said, we cannot imitate, but definitely we have to follow the footstep of a great devotee. So we should follow what the great devotees have said. Similarly, a step by step we can take, and we with a great association of a great devotees who are following the footstep of a great devotees, following the great devotees of which is in Bhagavatam. So we can take their association, and then we can slowly and steadily we can surrender to the Lord.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Definitely, we have to take the austerity of serving the Lord. So, as I said, that human life is meant for austerity. So, we have to take some austerity, and of course, it is the blessing of all the Vaishnavas. And then definitely we can understand. Like Srila Prabhupada has given books like Science of Self-Realization. Anybody can understand that, right? So like that, you can take the shelter of Srila Prabhupada books, take the shelter of Vaishnavas, and pray to the Lord, and then definitely Lord will give the benediction so that we can understand devotees and His Lord. So we can move forward.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, we'll conclude with Vaishnava Pranam.
Yeah.
Thank you again for your time.
Panchakalpaturbhyascha Tinam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Anantakoti Vaishnavindaki.
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome.